of 2026 Commencement. We're so glad to be together on this beautiful and special day to celebrate a very special class. Please remain standing for the invocation by Reverend Mark Lingle and the national anthem sung by the Vocal Arts Singers.
Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Assalamu Alaikum, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Blessed are you, O Lord God, creator of the universe. We give thanks for the gift of this day and the beauty of the creation that surrounds us. Bless all who join today in celebrating the great class of 2026. We celebrate the intellectual, artistic, athletic, service, and community interests and accomplishments of these graduates. Thank you for the love and support of parents, siblings, friends, grandparents, faculty, coaches, board members, mentors, volunteers, and staff who have had a hand in preparing these graduates to grow and to flourish in an ever-changing world. May the class of 2026 continue to value intellectual curiosity as well as compassion for the other. May they seek peace with justice. May they honor the spark of the divine in each other as well as recognize it within themselves. May they understand their part in caring for this creation, our island home. And may they live more fully into who it is they are to be and share their gifts for the enrichment of our common humanity. Send them into the next chapter of life with the confidence that they have much to share, more to learn, and a ground of love that sustains them always. Continue to bless this time, these graduates, and our life together. Amen.
Please be seated. Good afternoon, and welcome graduates, families, faculty, trustees, and friends. We're here today to celebrate the class of 2026, a class that has shaped King in ways both visible and quiet, and has carried our mission and virtues well beyond our campus. You are a class of individuals, different from one another, a class of extraordinary and varied talents. Perhaps that is why it took you longer than some other classes to mesh, to become one. But you have done just that. You have learned to appreciate your differences and embrace your individual passions and dedication. You are a class in which friendships are strong. You are a class with purpose, a class who wants to solve the world's big problems, to make a difference, and you approach what you do with fervor, with zeal. You're a class that I'm very proud of, proud to call you King School graduates, grateful to have gotten to know you. You've shown up for one another in classrooms, on fields and stages, and in moments that mattered most. You've shown up in service, in leadership, in friendship. You've shown up when it was easy and when it was not. That, in my view, is true excellence and character. That is why this year's theme, Vikings Show Up, feels like a testament to who you are. You've shown up for each other. You've built a community that crosses circles and differences. You've listened even when you disagreed. You have chosen respect in a world that too often rewards division. You have reminded us that community is not something we inherit. It is something we build together, again and again. Some of you have been here building this community for many years, and others have joined along the way. At this time, I'd like to recognize our lifers, those graduates who have been at King either from pre-K, kindergarten, or first grade. Lifers, I'm sure you have fond memories of your days in the lower school and of your teachers who most likely taught you some of life's most important lessons, like share everything, play fair, don't hit people, put things back the way you found them, clean up your own mess, don't take things that aren't yours, say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some and draw and paint and sing and dance and play and work every day some. When you go out into the world, watch out for traffic, hold hands, and stick together. Advice just as relevant today as it was when you were little. So lifers, thank you for dedicating the longest part of your life so far to King. Please stand and remain standing as I read your name. Stephen Blanco, Matthew Cesar, Michael Fela, Sophie Fishkin, Jillian Lennis, Sophia Santamaro, Charlie Schwartz, Kendra Villard, and Leon Wong. You may be seated. You'll also notice, you may notice, that some students are wearing a pin with the King's Shield. This pin recognizes the students whose families have been a part of the King community across generations. At King, we value those connections because they reflect the sense of belonging, support, and shared experience that help strengthen our community. And speaking of connections, there are some alumni in our audience today. If you went to school at any name that this school might have had, but we consider you King alumni. If you're a King alum, would you please stand up so we can recognize the role you play in sustaining our community? I know we have some in this corner. We have alumni. Stand up. We have some teachers, for sure. We have members of our development office. Woo! Thank you. However long your path to this moment, you are all Vikings. This is your home, and it always will be. We often say that, but it carries real meaning. A home is a place that shapes you and stays with you. It's also a place you return to, not just physically, but in values, in habits of mind, in the way you move through the world. And what you have learned here matters deeply right now. You are graduating at a time of extraordinary change. New technologies, especially artificial intelligence, are transforming how we learn, how we work, and how we understand the world. Information is faster, more abundant, and sometimes more confusing than ever. In a moment like this, your education matters more. Because what will distinguish you is not just what you know, but how you think. Your ability to ask better questions, to weigh evidence, to understand context, to see connections across disciplines, to recognize what is human, what is ethical, and what truly matters. It is about perspective. It teaches you to read carefully, to write clearly, to listen deeply, and to think critically. It prepares you not just to use new tools, but to guide how they are used. The world does not need people who can only generate answers. It needs people who can discern which answers are worth trusting and which questions are worth asking. And just as importantly, it needs people who show up. So I ask you to do this. Show up for what is true, not just what you read in social media. Show up for one another. Show up with empathy in moments of disagreement. Show up with courage when you know something is not right. Show up with humility when you don't yet understand. You've already begun to do this. You have learned that relationships matter. You understand that people who see the world differently from you are not obstacles, but opportunities to grow. You know that words have power, and that how we use them shape the communities we build. And you know that integrity, respect, perseverance, and kindness are not abstract ideas or words on a wall. They are daily choices. And so I would like to take this moment to offer gratitude, to recognize those who have made this journey possible. So to our faculty and staff, thank you for your dedication, your wisdom, and the care you bring to each and every day. You have challenged these students to think deeply and supported them in becoming who they are. You have a lasting impact. Would everyone please join me in thanking our faculty and staff? To the parents and families, thank you for your trust, your partnership, and your steady support. You've been there in the visible moments and the unseen ones. Your encouragement has shaped this class in profound ways. And to the class of 2026, wherever you go, remember that this place goes with you. King is your home. We will always be proud of you. We will always be here for you, and we will always welcome you back. So as you walk across the stage today, know this: you have shown up for your school, for each other, and for yourselves. You're ready, not because you have all the answers, but because you know how to seek them. Not because the path ahead is certain, but because you have learned how to move forward with purpose. As you leave King, carry this with you. You get to take what you have learned and apply it in a world that needs thoughtful, grounded, and compassionate people. Our beloved teacher and colleague Adam Boaz used to remind us that our responsibilities are what we get to do rather than what we have to do. So in that spirit, you get to contribute to conversations that matter. You get to build stronger, more inclusive communities, and you get to decide what kind of impact you will have. In closing, here are my wishes for you, taken from the Bob Dylan song, "May You Stay Forever Young." It's largely, and many people in this audience will certainly know that song. I'm not sure how many of you know the song. I'm curious. I bet there are some Dylan fans, though. It's largely understood as a parent's prayer for their child. So my hope is that something essential inside of you will stay forever young. And here it is. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. May you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright, and be strong. May you stay forever young. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. May you stay forever young. Now go forward and continue to show up for a world that needs you. Congratulations, class of 2026. We're proud of you. I'd now like to welcome Misun Freeman, Chair of the Board of Trustees, to the podium to say a few words to the graduates.
Thank you, Carol. Good afternoon, everyone. To our graduates, faculty and staff, families, friends, trustees, and members of the King community, thank you for being here to celebrate the class of 2026. Thank you for showing up. It is an honor to represent King today as Chair of the Board of Trustees, but also as a current parent and a mother of a proud alumna who just graduated from college. Standing here today, I can understand and relate to what many of you are feeling. There is tremendous pride in seeing your children reach this milestone, but also a deep awareness that this moment marks the beginning of something new. We are watching them step into a world that's changing rapidly and demanding more of young people than ever before. And yet, I feel enormous confidence in this class because I have seen what a King education does over time. As a parent, I have watched this school shape not only what students learn, but who they become. My daughter Emmy left King with intellectual curiosity, resilience, empathy, and confidence to engage thoughtfully with the complex world. Today, a graduate of NYU, I continue to see the lasting influence of education and community she experienced here. I now see these same qualities developing in my son Paxton as he continues his own journey at King. That is the enduring mission of this school. King prepares students for the next academic step, but also, and more meaningfully, for lives of purpose, responsibility, and contribution. It is a mission rooted in the belief that education should develop character alongside intellect and humanity alongside achievement. This year's theme, Vikings Show Up, reflects that mission beautifully. Showing up means far more than being present. It means committing yourself to others. It means participating fully in a community and understanding that your actions matter. It means bringing integrity, compassion, and responsibility into the spaces you occupy. At King, we see that spirit every day. We see it in parents who show up for their children through every challenge and milestone. We see it in faculty and staff who devote themselves wholeheartedly to students with one shared purpose, helping every child succeed. We see it in advisors, coaches, counselors, administrators, and support staff whose care and dedication shape this community in countless ways, often quietly and behind the scenes. And we see it in our students. Class of 2026, you have shown up for one another with generosity, resilience, and empathy. You have contributed to this community through academics, athletics, the arts, leadership, service, and friendship. You have learned about individual achievement and collective strength. That matters deeply because education serves a broader purpose than personal success alone. The world you are entering needs thoughtful citizens, ethical leaders, and people willing to engage constructively with complexity and change. It needs people who can question critically, adapt thoughtfully, communicate clearly, and lead with humanity. In a time shaped by rapid technological advancement, global uncertainty, and constant transformation, those qualities matter more than ever. At King, students learn how to evolve with the world, not losing sight of what is enduring and essential. They learn how to embrace innovation while remaining grounded in values. They learn how to approach disagreement with respect, how to listen carefully, and how to contribute meaningfully to something larger than themselves. Those lessons will stay with you long after you leave campus. As trustees, one of our greatest responsibilities is stewardship. We are entrusted with preserving and strengthening this institution so that future generations of students can experience the same transformational education that you have received. We are caretakers of something much larger than ourselves, a mission, a culture, and a community built over generations through vision, generosity, and shared commitment. That continuity is one of King's greatest strengths. Today's graduates are part of a much larger legacy of Vikings who have carried the values of this school into colleges, careers, communities, and lives of purpose around the world. And one day, future students will walk these same halls because others before them chose to invest in this institution and its future. For that, we owe deep gratitude. To our faculty and staff, thank you for the extraordinary dedication you bring to your work each day. The confidence, curiosity, and character we see in these graduates are reflections of your impact. To our head of school, Carol Ma'oz, and our leadership team, thank you for your vision and steady guidance in helping King continue to evolve while remaining true to its mission and values. To our families, thank you for your trust and your partnership. Your encouragement, sacrifices, and unwavering support has shaped these students in profound ways. And thank you to all whose generosity of time, resources, and vision sustains and strengthens this school. Thank you for believing in King and investing in its future. Class of 2026, as you leave King, I hope you carry forward the understanding that showing up matters. Show up for your communities. Show up for what is right. Show up with integrity when leadership is difficult. Show up with curiosity when the world changes around you. And show up for others with empathy and compassion. You are prepared for what comes next, not because you have every answer, but because you know how to continue learning, adapting, and growing. That understanding is part of the legacy of this school, and now it becomes part of yours. Congratulations, class of 2026. We are incredibly proud of you, confident in you, and excited for the future you will help shape. Thank you.
Welcome, students, families, faculty, and guests. We have a lovely afternoon here to celebrate this equally lovely class. And it is a privilege for me to stand before you today to introduce to you the class of 2026's valedictorian. At King, I'll get there. At King, our highest aim is to foster an atmosphere of challenge and support where every single student can discover and nurture their interests with teachers who know them well. When a student is known, their individual interests and capacity to engage with those interests is given the space to flourish. For Leon Wong, who started at King in pre-kindergarten, that space has included nearly every aspect of our school's geography: the playgrounds, the classrooms, the courts, the debate stage, and on and on. As a little one, Leon was incredibly intellectually curious about every aspect of the world around him, and his teachers made sure he was challenged and had those interest itches scratched. By the time he arrived in our upper school, he was ready to take on a wide range of courses at the highest levels. Indeed, as Jessica Landis, his college counselor and our director of college counseling, and I discussed when I was writing this introduction, Leon has undertaken the most rigorous advanced curriculum in our memory in every single core discipline. And on his transcript are only A's as far as the eye can see. But what truly sets him apart is not the sheer rigor of his academic schedule nor his grades. Rather, it is the remarkable way he processes the world. Leon is that rare student who simultaneously thinks like a mathematician, a scientist, an artist, a poet, the beginnings of which the teachers recognized back in his earliest years. Leon has never viewed learning as a thing that happens in silos. For example, he took every STEM course we offer, including a computational chemistry class we ran specifically because he needed the additional challenge. Through our Aspire program, he has spent the last 2 years conducting Alzheimer's research at Mount Sinai School of Medicine, while also finishing 8th place with a group of over 2,000 competitors in the Regeneron Science Talent Search, the nation's most prestigious science competition for high school students. At the same time, Leon refused to sacrifice his deep appreciation and his curiosity about the humanities. As Tricia Manganello, his AP English teacher, points out, he is a beautifully articulate writer. Through his lab work, he realized early on that deep analytic thinking must be paired with carefully constructed prose, understanding that the greatest scientific discoveries only matter if they can be communicated clearly to a broader world. He is a passionate student of history. He was also committed to studying French. And today, he graduates with a diploma distinction in both STEM and world languages. Leon's approach to learning and living here at King also involved a strong sense of character and a willingness to bring others along on his journey. He served as the captain of both our debate and math teams and has been a strong presence in Model UN. Most importantly, he was a leader with profound empathy and a deep interest in the human condition. Indeed, he volunteered his time at a local community center helping immigrants gain English fluency, and in the high-stakes environment of a medical lab, he learned to embrace failure as an opportunity for growth. Leon views his role in the world to be one that combines his incredible skills with a deep sense of responsibility to those around him, as well as to solving some of the world's biggest problems. In our hallways, he is also simply known as a warm, funny, and deeply thoughtful person. Even his college search reflected that. Indeed, his college search reflected his thoughtful and engaged approach to his whole life. As Jessica Landis put it, he approached his college search, quote, from a place of unbridled optimism, excited by the new intellectual challenges that a university will be able to offer him, unquote. As he prepares for his next great intellectual adventure at the University of Pennsylvania, we are incredibly proud, not just of the history-making academic records he has set, but of the multi-dimensional, compassionate, and inspiring young man he has become. We will be here cheering him on. Please join me in welcoming to the stage our 2026 valedictorian, Leon Wong.
Thank you, Ms. Sedlowski, for the kind introduction. Good afternoon to all the parents, faculty, friends, and my fellow classmates of the class of 2026. As I stand before you all today, the overwhelming thought that I have in my head is that, wow, it's all over. Flipping through the yearbook yesterday for one last time, I found my senior picture on the very final pages of the yearbook, and I finally realized that our time together as a class has come at last. For the past 14 years at King, the year 2026 always seemed like some far distant offland that would never arrive. As a lifer, I've seen every building, classroom, and playground that the school has to offer. Yet, I could tell you that if you were to ask me in pre-K where I see myself in 14 years, I would probably tell you that I wanted to be an astronaut and then immediately return to playing with the toys in front of me. Now, looking back, that 4-year-old had the perfect balance of sky-high aspirations and a complete freedom from the anxieties that the future can induce. Now, the point of my bringing up this hypothetical is to implore all of us to think back to a time when we were excited about the future while being grounded in the joys of the present. We stand here today on the precipice of a major transition in life. We're switching from a class size of 81 to a class of thousands, leaving the friends with whom we've grown up and finding new friends out of the thousands of classmates at college, and most jarring of all, leaving the comforts of our private bathrooms at home to the communal bathrooms of dorm living. But before we step into that unknown, I think we owe it to ourselves to look back at the ground we've already covered. The class of 2026 is a resilient and diverse group of students with a wide spectrum of ambitions and aspirations for the future. We've overcome the challenges of COVID in our key developmental years in middle school and continue to face the changes and uncertainties of AI in education and the workspace. And despite these hurdles, we continue to excel as dedicated community members, star athletes, talented performers, and driven students. We have students who excel in multiple disciplines, whether that be debater, actor, class president Stephen Blanco, aspiring historians who have somehow taken every AP Physics course, shout out to Amy, or D1 athletes like Emily, my target for senior water splash, who always seem to be at volleyball practice to my chagrin. Now, I can say for me, personally, that my years at King have shown me what it's like to step out of your comfort zone and have a community there to catch you when you fall. Whether that be Dr. Ryan's everlasting patience when I ask him endless questions in preparation for the AP Chem exam, Ms. Landis' help and reassurance through the stress of the college process, or Mr. Hughes, my advisor, always being there for advice and donuts on her birthday, I've had the privilege of having a support network at King that enabled me to try new experiences and challenge myself in a meaningful way. Of course, I've also had the support of my friends at King sitting beside me on the stage. They are the people whom I turn to for advice when something goes wrong, as well as some of the best supporters that I could ever ask for. And lastly, but certainly not least, I want to thank my parents for being there for me every step of this long journey to the person I am today. You have always loved, encouraged, and supported me as I chase my dreams and passions. So, what I want you all to take away from this speech is that while the dream we're about to spend the next 4 years finding and chasing may seem out of reach or even impossible to achieve at times, we all have a safety net of family, friends, and mentors here at King who will catch you if you fall. Now, as we fly or drive off to our new homes for the next 4 years, I want you all to remember the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson. Dare to live the life you have dreamed for yourself. Go forward and make your dreams come true. To the class of 2026, dream on.
Thank you, Leon. We will now acknowledge those students who graduate today earning certificates of distinction. And you can identify these students by the gold cords they wear. These are cords that signify the completion of rigorous courses of study in our 6 distinction categories. So please hold applause until all are acknowledged. The Certificate of Distinction in Art and Design is awarded to Cecilia Campbell, Mari Pritchard, Isabel Rabina, and Kayla Ward. Did you stand? Everyone stand if I just said your name. There we go. Okay. All right, adding to this group, which will remain standing, the Certificate of Distinction in Global Studies is awarded to Joaquin Antonio Arteta, Tristan Ellis, Michael Fela, and Ava Gunthel. The certificate... Yep. The Certificate of Distinction in Leadership Theory and Practice is awarded to Evelyn Kircher, Gregory Martin, and Saoirse Zucker-Malone. The Certificate of Performing Arts is awarded to Matthew Cesar, Zuri Giddings, and Hathaway Liparidis. The Certificate of Distinction in STEM is awarded to Soa Lorea Ajay, Dylan Maltese, Bruno Reinhofer Ribeiro, Vidu Scutari, Lucia Vavanko, and Leon Wong. And Leon Wong also, as I said earlier, earns a Certificate of Distinction in World Language today as well. Congratulations to all of you. You may be seated.
By request, the vocal arts singers will now perform Somewhere Over the Rainbow. My request.
highway there's a rainbow, highway to be found.
Leaning from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true.
Someday I'll wish upon the sky and wake up where the clouds are far behind. Our troubles round and round and toss away above the chimney tops. That's where
you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow, white and a white can't hide. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
Thank you. One of the greatest privileges of commencement is the opportunity to welcome back alumni whose journeys reflect the values and aspirations we hope to cultivate in every King student. Today, it is my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, Gilbert Francois, a proud member of the class of 2013. Since graduating from King, Gilbert has built an impressive career at the intersection of technology, innovation, media, and global strategy. His journey reflects exactly the kind of adaptability, curiosity, and courage we hope to inspire in every Viking as they prepare to navigate a rapidly changing world. He currently works in product marketing at OpenAI, where he helps shape how AI products are introduced to the world, guiding launches, messaging, and strategic initiatives during one of the most transformative moments in technology. Before joining OpenAI, Gilbert spent more than 4 years with the National Basketball Association, most recently serving as Director of Product Marketing for the NBA's direct-to-consumer business. Earlier in his career, he worked at Instagram on creator monetization initiatives and at Microsoft, where he worked on the Bing search engine and Map APIs, a mapping technology, while participating in Microsoft's ACE rotational program, an early career leadership program. Again and again, Gilbert has placed himself where new ideas, industries, and technologies are taking shape. Across every stage of his career, he has helped organizations navigate change, embrace innovation, and think carefully about how technology shapes human connection and opportunity. What stands out is how many of those same qualities were already evident during his time here at King. As I read through comments written by his teachers during his years at King, I was struck not only by what they said about him as a student, but how clearly those observations reflected the kind of learner and person King strives to develop: deeply engaged, thoughtful, intellectually curious, and eager to contribute. Those qualities are central to our mission and our inquiry-based approach to learning, which challenges students to go beyond the mastery of information, to think critically, ask meaningful questions, listen carefully, adapt thoughtfully, and engage with a rapidly changing world. What's remarkable is how clearly those same qualities continue to define Gilbert today. Gilbert's journey reflects the same habits his teachers recognized years ago: curiosity, adaptability, humility, thoughtful collaboration, and a willingness to embrace complexity with confidence and openness. Please welcome Gilbert Francois.
Thank you all for that very warm introduction, and I'm honored to have been selected to address this year's graduating class. I can't believe it's already been 13 years since I was in one of your seats. I also can't believe I got my first gray hairs last year, so I'm clearly getting used to some things. I've had the opportunity to come back to campus and speak at a few career days, and while so much has changed since my own commencement, this place still feels like home. I came to King in 6th grade, and I still remember that first day. I was a 6-foot-plus gangly kid struggling to figure out his growing body, to the point that my football coach lovingly referred to me as String Bean. I also remember finally hitting 200 pounds my senior year after countless hours in the gym, and I was upgraded to just Bean, and that was a really big day for me. But back to that first day, I walked into the middle school atrium and immediately heard, "Sick, we're gonna be so good at basketball this year." Little did they know that despite my height, I couldn't hit a jump shot to save my life. After some initial disappointment, I eventually figured it out, elbows in, follow through. And I eventually became a varsity captain my senior year. Thankfully, there's not much footage of the in-between period. And as awkward and nervous as I was on that first day, I had no idea I was in a room filled with people I'd come to share countless fond memories with. The next time I really felt those first day jitters was probably during my orientation week at Duke University. I had no idea what college would entail, and apart from 2 classmates who were also admitted, I was starting my social life from scratch for the first time in 7 years. I majored in economics, as it was Duke's most popular major at the time, and while many of my classmates were gunning for Wall Street jobs, I didn't have that same motivation. I had no idea what I wanted to do after graduating. Many of you on stage might empathize. I eventually found my career path in marketing, first as an intern at Microsoft, then at Instagram, the NBA, and most recently on the ChatGPT marketing team. I wrote this speech myself, though, I promise. My journey wasn't linear, and I'd like to tell a few stories and share advice that might help some of you as you start carving out your own path. The one thing I know for certain is that after today's commencement, you'll all be King alumni. That means something. You've been gifted with knowledge and resources that will leave you well-equipped for your next step. And you have a vast community of peers, mentors, and coaches who are genuinely invested in your success. There isn't a single thing I've accomplished in my life that isn't the direct result of someone investing in me. At the start of my junior year at Duke, I was heavily involved in on-campus organizations. I was a 2-time intramural basketball champion and had developed a tight-knit friend group, but I was struggling to secure that summer internship that was so crucial. I explored banking, consulting, and more, and I finally made it to a few final round interviews, but couldn't get over that last hump. My good friend Bethany was a member of Duke's marketing club and knew that I was struggling to land something, and forwarded me an email invite to an info session with an on-campus recruiter from Microsoft. She encouraged me to apply to their undergraduate marketing program. I'd never been to a marketing club meeting, and I never considered it as a career, but at the time I was desperate for something, really anything. And so you better believe the next few days I was in the library becoming an expert on Windows, Bing, Xbox, you name it. It was a Microsoft product I knew like the back of my hand. The info session went well, and I was invited to an interview. There were some questions specific to marketing and my involvement on campus, but I was eventually asked simply, why Microsoft? My father, who is in the audience, was a telecom expert in his home country of Haiti, and his passion for technology transferred over to the States. I spoke about how his love for computers was contagious, and how I grew up with motherboards and computer chips strewn about his office. So why Microsoft? Windows was his operating system of choice. And I wanted to work for an organization that empowered every person on the planet to achieve more, which was their company mission at the time. Working in marketing is largely mastering the art of telling a good story and I'm convinced that it's that story that landed me my first job. I spent a few years there and eventually left to work on Instagram's creator monetization team, where it was my job to help some of your favorite influencers get paid for their content. During that interview process, I was a few years into my career and I had more work history and projects to reference, but eventually I was hit with that same question, why Instagram? This time I leaned into my mother's experience, who's also here today. I grew up with her coming home after long shifts as a nurse and would listen to her tell stories about her favorite patients. I could feel the immense sense of joy and pride she had in being part of their extended support system. Now, I would never compare hospital patients and Instagram creators. They're, of course, very different. And I would never compare myself to the talented medical staff who run our healthcare system. But I wanted to work somewhere where I could find a similar sense of joy in supporting real people to help them pursue their passions. Fortunately, my interviewers resonated with that story as well, and I secured the role at Instagram. Neither of those opportunities were just handed to me. I worked really hard to prepare for my interviews and develop the required skills for each role. But it was the combination of that hard work and my ties to my community, whether getting some details for a Microsoft info session on campus from a friend, or referencing how my parents helped shape what I look for in my jobs. And of course, none of it would have been possible without the dedicated teachers, staff, friends, and Broderick community who invested in me during my time here. I'm eternally grateful for everyone who's poured into me, and it's why I do my best to show up wherever I can. It can be as simple as reviewing a friend's resume, coming back to King to speak at a career day, or just being a shoulder to lean on during a trying time. I can only hope to have a fraction of the impact others have had on me, and being King alumni means you're all in a position to have that kind of impact on your own communities, including this one. I really enjoyed my time at Instagram. I worked with creators who were incredibly passionate about what they do, and it forced me to ask myself a hard question: what am I passionate about? I had an idea of what I enjoyed in my spare time. I graduated as a 3-time intramural basketball champion, and I enjoyed hanging out with friends or a good binge watch much the next person. But I had been passively following a lot of steps that were laid out in front of me. Take these classes, they're good for your college application. You have to pick a major, why not econ? It must be popular for a reason. While I was technically making decisions, they were rooted in my fear of not making the wrong decision and not in my desire to make the right one. So what does a rational 25-year-old do? It's obvious you have a quarter-life crisis. Every day after work, I would get home and pour myself into another potential passion. I tried digital animation for a few months before realizing you kind of need to know how to draw first. It's a little hard. I got into music production, thinking I might be the next breakthrough SoundCloud artist. I took a beginner filmmaking class, bought a bunch of camera equipment, and spent some unpaid time on amateur film sets as a PA. And my takeaway from all those seemingly random experiences is that I have a deep passion for media in all its forms. If I hadn't spent time exploring those interests I was curious about, and some others I won't mention, who knows if I would have ever consciously made that connection. I'm so glad I did, since only after 7 months at a job I did love at Instagram, I accepted a role working on the marketing team at the NBA. It was really scary leaving something that I knew I enjoyed for another opportunity, but I would have forever regretted not further pursuing my newly recognized passion for the media space. After 4 years at the league, I now work with creative teams to tell stories about how regular people can benefit from using ChatGPT in their day-to-day lives. I still get to work on production sets for video shoots, so they're much bigger now, and I'm finally paid for my work. If there's a single takeaway, it's that now is always the best time to explore your interests and decide what you want out of your own life. When you're in college, go to that marketing club meeting if it seems interesting. Take that visual media class that has nothing to do with your major, and apply that same intentionality to the rest of your life. I have only 2 regrets. The first is that I didn't learn how to shoot a basketball sooner. Could have been getting ready for game 1 of the NBA Finals right now. The second is that it took me so long to realize that I'm in charge of my own life. You all have the benefit of learning from my mistakes, so hopefully you can avoid your own quarter-life crises. You don't want to look back at decisions you've made and realize that you were a passive participant. That's not to say that you shouldn't ever be cautious. Always buckle up, but make sure you're sitting in the driver's seat. I made a lot of sports references throughout this speech, largely because sports were a memorable part of my King experience. And I have one more sports-related story that I hope you'll remember whenever you're faced with a tough decision. It was my senior year at King during a brutal winter. We were playing a football game in the middle of a full-on blizzard, and the only word to describe the experience is miserable. On the field, we were waddling like penguins. and off the field we huddled up to try to stay warm. But it was a must-win game, and we had a shot at the FAA championship, so we suffered through the cold. Long story short, someone on the opposing team fumbled the ball and it slid right towards me. My response should have been automatic. I was taught in 6th grade, immediately fall on the ball in that situation. Instead, my first thought was, you could not pay me to dive into the snow. Before you judge me, we were up a few points, so it's not like it would have really made a difference. Also, it was really cold. But eventually, I dove for the ball. It sucked. I was now not only freezing, but drenched. I waddled over to the sideline to huddle up with my teammates, and to my surprise, the ref blew the whistle and immediately called the game. The other team decided it wasn't worth more time in the cold, and we were able to go home with a win. If I'd allowed the snow to stop me from showing up for my team, I would have only prolonged my own suffering. It's a pattern I've recognized time and time again, whether at King, Duke, throughout my career, or even in how I show up for the people in my life. It's always worth doing the hard thing, and avoiding it only ever makes things worse. To quote one of my favorite poems, Don't Quit, "Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are, it may be near when it seems afar. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worst, you must not quit." As you start this exciting next chapter of your lives, I ask that you always consider these 3 principles that have been instrumental in mine. First, your community is your most valuable resource. Make sure you invest back into it. Second, sit in the driver's seat of your own life. Don't let the time pass without your input. And lastly, always dive for the ball, even when there's snow. It's always worth it. Thank you to King once again for the honor of speaking today. Thank you, all of you, for listening to my stories, and most importantly, congratulations to the King class of 2026.
Thank you so much, Gilbert. A true King lifer, having been part of this community since kindergarten, peppy and genuinely sincere, jovial yet sentimental, someone who leads not through performance, but through authentic connection and care for others. These are the words of this student's college counselor, David Verlaine. I'm speaking about a young man who always greets with a big smile, a twinkle in his eyes, and a desire to serve. I'm speaking about student body president and today's student speaker, Stephen Blanco. In his college recommendation letter, Mr. Verlaine also said that if you asked every member of the senior class whether they considered Stephen a friend, each would likely say yes, because every student knows that he values each person's experience and cares deeply about his friends and their concerns. Over the course of his many years at King, Stephen has embraced virtually every aspect of life at King, fully immersing himself in the opportunities from football to tap dance, relationships with adults and students, and experiences that define the school community. This fall, Stephen will continue his journey at Villanova University, and they are lucky to have him. There is something uniquely special about Stephen. As student body president, he has worked intentionally to strengthen bonds across the student body and foster a genuine sense of belonging within our community. His desire to build bridges and foster relationships goes across grades and divisions. What stands out most is that Stephen achieves this without ever trying to be anyone other than himself. He has been described as a wonderful listener, a thoughtful voice, and someone who celebrates others' successes with even more enthusiasm than his own. Those qualities reflect the very best of King's values and the kind of empathetic, community-centered leadership we hope to cultivate in all our students. His commitment to connection extends well beyond our campus. Fluent in both English and Spanish and an accomplished French student, he has used his language skills in service to others through volunteer translation work with the Jewish Family Services of Greenwich and through legal translation work supporting immigrant families. In those experiences, Stephen has not only applied his academic talents, but also demonstrated compassion, responsibility, and global awareness. On campus, Stephen is known as an engaged and curious learner who thrives in conversation and collaboration. Whether participating in Model UN, debate team, or informal discussions with classmates, He approaches ideas with openness, intellectual curiosity, and a genuine desire to understand the world more deeply. Stephen asks the big questions. He embodies the King ideals in ways both large and small through his leadership, his service, his intellectual engagement, and the care he shows to the people around him every day. I would be remiss not to highlight his love for and extraordinary achievements in music and theater. Stephen's love of singing and musical theater has become another defining part of his experience at King. He's a member of our choir as well as our talented and hardworking vocal arts singers who we had the pleasure of hearing today, performing in concerts at the gala, at nonprofit organizations our school partners with, and singing the national anthem at just about every school event, including this one. And I never tire of listening to him. Stephen has been a shining light time after time in unforgettable dramatic and musical productions of every genre, capping off his performing arts career at King in an unforgettable senior recital that left the audience truly overwhelmed by his and others' talents. Stephen is generous of heart. With all of his achievements, he chooses to highlight others. In his exit interview, the most important message he wanted to convey to me was one of gratitude to this school, to his teachers, who he described as uniquely caring, and to this community. Class of 2026, Stephen represents so much of what makes this class special. Leadership grounded in kindness, intellectual curiosity paired with humility, and a genuine commitment to community. Please join me in welcoming your student body president and this year's student speaker, chosen by you, Stephen Blanco.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Ms. Miles. Good evening, everyone. When I arrived in kindergarten, my first exposure to the upper school was the pep rally before homecoming. It looked a little different than it is now. The Viking costume had a terrifying mask, candy would be launched into the bleachers, and I sat on the right side of the gymnasium floor, staring up at all the older kids whose legacies hung in banners on the wall. At 5 years old, they looked really, really cool. This year, somehow, we became those kids. We got to lead the pep rally and make it our own. I had the special honor of being the MC for the event, and a lot of us got to be members of the Spirit Squad, which meant we wore sleeveless shirts and yelled at students, calling it school spirit. It was our moment to rally the crowd and celebrate the place that has given us so many opportunities. For the first time, we weren't looking up at those banners anymore, and we were creating the memories students would be remembering someday. We've arrived to our final celebration. Today is another celebration of all of our hard work. Graduation is not an impossible task, but it is still a monumental day in all of our lives. From the beginning, we've all been unique individuals united by the same path, united by the same classes, campus, and community. I haven't spoken to a lot of people about how I've been feeling about leaving King, my home, for 13 years, partially because I don't believe that reality has sunk in for me yet. I know I'm attending Villanova next year, that I'll be joined by classmates of mine who I'll grow even closer to, but I haven't yet understood how that means I have to leave behind King. This is my home, and I'm sure a lot of that has to do with my being here for a long time. But even if you're newer to the community, I know how special this place can be, and I know we have all made special memories here. We're all here to celebrate the accomplishments of every person on this stage. I hope I can detail my appreciation for our growth and help you all see how great our class truly is. I think many of us on this stage would agree that our class has historically been divided. We weren't divided in the sense that there were contentious, let me get my hat ready, that there were contentious disagreements amongst ourselves, but a coexistence in separate groups. We all had our cliques and our people that we depended upon because there wasn't any necessity to come out of our safety net. We found comfort in our smaller, like-minded groups. Being here for so long has made me realize that we only had true unity when we didn't have constant pressures to perform for others, to appear cooler than we might actually be, to try and impress the people who surrounded us, and to make ourselves feel better about ourselves. We were fearful of judgment. I saw this phenomenon from a privileged standpoint. Many of you may not realize I was involved in a lot of things at King. My parents would often tell me that I was overworking myself, but it was just something that I couldn't step away from. I think many of us realize the value of being part of a larger community, which was reflected in your dedication to athletics, academics, the performing arts, Miss Sheehan's yellow math class, and even organizations like our Dingle Elite Basketball AAU team led by Ben Mazzullo. Without realizing it, we've been building community and friendships across friend groups and cliques through how we get involved on campus. Teachers have long been mentors to us, and we've reaped the benefits of their benevolence and care for us as individuals. I can firmly say that after having the shared experience of traveling to debate nationals in San Diego and taking many detours before getting to In-N-Out, Mr. Harrison and I are bonded for life. These little connections have always existed and grown stronger year after year, but their potential hadn't been realized until recently in our senior year. With so many events centered around us with an underlying requisite to enjoy our last moments together, we as seniors tried our best to do just that. Senior Sunset yesterday was some of the most fun I've had this year, and I discovered that my hacky sack skills have translated to soccer juggling. We've become a lot closer, as many classes do, but I believe that we uniquely have had more hurdles to overcome because of how we started. We are a determined, dedicated, and passionate group of people who are talented in so many different ways. Our diversity of strengths is a strength in its own. We've all seen the power in being genuine and relaxing around others, releasing that unnecessary tension when we walk past a group of people our age. Sometimes we want to be seen as someone we aren't. And that's a problem I'm happy to say that we've all addressed. Think back to the Hackley football game we went to at the beginning of the year, the countless senior stress busters that we've had too much candy at, or the support we felt when we committed to our schools. We've had this unity we've been searching for all along. I would want all of us to truly reflect on what has made these last weeks so great as seniors. It's not because we haven't had school, although I'm sure that's played a role. It's because we've learned to let go and enjoy what's around us. Somewhere along the way, we stopped worrying so much and started showing up. Subconsciously, lots of decisions to actively go out and do something or go with friends out to eat have been made because we won't ever be in these circumstances again. Life is so much richer when we live our truth. Any moment lived inauthentically is a moment wasted. Being present with the people around us as our genuine selves brings more comfort than trying to seem something we aren't. We have always had community, but we finally felt its full advantages in our senior year. There is so much we have yet to discover because we don't allow ourselves to. I implore you to live and find that discovery in your lives. We're about to go all over the country, some of us studying abroad. Wherever we are, in any moment, I urge us all to live authentically, displaying the passions that fuel us to make the most of every day, regardless of any stigmas. Acceptance of yourself is the way forward. Parents, you have continually supported our growth, whether that be traveling hours away to see us compete on a field or lending us your shoulder to cry on when we need it. Teachers, you are at the forefront of our learning every day, and you've helped us discover who we are beyond the classroom. Snapshot memories like the pep rally make everything seem like perfection. That's what it looked like to me when I was sitting on the gym floor. The older kids had it all figured out. Being in both positions, however, has made me realize that it was never about perfection, but about how we grew into each other and how we became the community we longed for. I hope those kids that sat in the crowd at the pep rally saw a class that cared deeply this year, cared deeply for each other and for their school, a class that showed up for one another, a class that learned to enjoy togetherness before having to say goodbye. Our class. Thank you for making this place my true home. I'm so happy that I was able to address all of you. Class of 2026, I leave you with the words I delivered at senior breakfast. I love you. Thank you.
At this time, we will confer the diplomas. No need to hold your applause. Feel free to clap and cheer for each and every graduate.
Elizabeth Jane Abbott. Abby Isabel Aguilar. Tal Aluf Medina. Jackson Thomas Andrews. Joaquin Antonio Arteta. Sienna Rose Barlow. Nate Berry. Kayla Viola Barta. Varun Benabatula. Amelia K. Bly. Thomas K. Bonomo. Jonathan Trey Bracey. Cecilia Lorraine Campbell. Sophia Elaine Carrington. John Christian Carvalho. Matthew Borden Cesar. Edward Louis Danziger. Cooper DiNatale. Julian Dent Jr. Oliver Donnelly. Sam Dulski. Tristan Ellis. Jordan Elizabeth Ennis. Michael Santo Fela. Nicholas Feinstein. Sophie Lauren Fishkin. Graham Gale. Guidon Genger. Zuri Anise Giddings. Maddie Godwin. Ava Gunthal. Carrie Ray Hine. Terry Hurley. Ryan Jakubowski. Kelly Carr. Evelyn Kircher. Harrison Kittel. Gabriella Kolev. Soa Oye Laria Ajay. Sophia Lasky. Jillian Reed Lennis. Elizabeth Lebo. Hathaway Liparidis. Rachel Lowenstein. Kylie Ann Luther. AJ Mahadeva. Ella Maldonado. Dylan Anthony Maltese. Daniel Manos. Marion Markarian. Gregory Martin. Thomas Reinhold Metzel. Owen McGreevy. Emily McKee. Maximilian Moschini. Cyrus Bano Noren. Ella Phillips. Amy Powell. Mari Grace Pritchard. Isabel Rabina. Bruno Reinhofer Ribeiro. Penelope Jane Reiter. Mateus Hugo Rodriguez. Sophia Muriel Santamaro. Charlie Schwartz. Vito Scutari. Emily Sherman. Matthew Sim Silver. Henry Shed Simon. Henry Sklar. Greta Charlotte Sunshine. AJ Trimboli. Hannah Hunter Valentine. Kendra Irene Villard. Lucia Vavanko. Kayla Alexis Ward. Maxwell Bennett Winston. Saoirse Zucker Malone. Ben Mazzullo. Stephen Blanco. And Leon Zhen Wong.
Graduates, please stand. You must really like these guys. The moment has arrived. On the count of 3, move your tassels from right to left. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, class of 2026! Woo! I think we're just waiting for music.
No prayer? Okay.